Hi everyone, Cooper here from Diamond Games. I'm a level designer on Infested, and this is what I've been working on for the month of June. Here we are in the residential section, namely the lobby area. We'll be seeing lots of the action happening. Since my previous update, I've worked on honing in those fine details that you're seeing right now. So far, working on this level, what I envisioned for it was a sort of war-torn living quarters where a devastating fight had ensued, and that the Marines had to quickly make do with the supplies they had. For me, this whole section is about tension and unpredictability. I want players to feel like they're never completely safe. You might have cleared the floor, but there could be an alien crawling above you or waiting behind some collapsed wall. That's the kind of dynamic I'm aiming for here. Something I've been keeping in mind also is how the area plays online. There's lots of potential for team-based strategies covering different angles, creating distractions, or boosting teammates up alternate routes that you could take. You'll probably notice now that there's a lot more cover and verticality to the level in general. Along with that comes with more ambush spots for aliens to quickly get the jump on the Marines. With that change in mind, and when it comes to balance, I've opened up the second floor to the Marines, so now they can't get endlessly camped from above. The remaining floors, however, are exclusive to the aliens. More on that in a bit. One of the tricky things I ran into also was getting the pacing of this area just right. First, I thought the Marines would get shredded the moment they entered the lobby, so I had to rethink how they move through the space. That's when I started tweaking the cover placement and added more flanking routes. Moving on, one of the big focuses for this update was lighting and destruction. I've gone ahead and redone all the lighting I've worked on so far, and improved a lot of the darker areas for the sake of clarity. While I still have some work to do, I'd like it to reach a point where shadows can be relied on for enemy whereabouts, from either up above or right behind you. When it comes to the wall destruction you can see throughout the video, I've also had a lot of fun trying to find new ways to make it more realistic, and what works and what doesn't. Now, regarding the upper floors, I've made it slightly more difficult for the Marines to traverse up the boost spot, requiring the use of one of the many movable objects to boost you or your team up. An example of movable objects would be a stack of crates. You could move them in a way to open up an easier path for your team to either boost up, or maybe there's a hidden entryway behind that lets you traverse between areas. Marines also have the option to use the elevator, which has now been significantly slowed down and has also been turned into an ambush spot, making it the more riskier option when flanking the aliens. For the future, I'll be focusing on polish, really dialing in that lighting. Getting the lighting to feel dynamic without completely blinding the player or hiding too much was a bit more difficult than I had anticipated. I'm really aiming for that balance where it looks moody, but you can still track movement, especially when aliens drop down from above. Furthermore, I'll be reworking some of the traversal paths too, just to make sure the pacing stays tight but fair. I want there to be a balance between giving the player options, but not totally overwhelming them with too many paths. I'm also aiming on adding some storytelling elements, stuff like personal effects from the residents who live there. And who knows, maybe even some destructible walls or floors. We'll see. Anyways, that's all the time I have for today. If you like what you saw, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to Diamond Games for future updates on Infested. Thanks for watching.